Herkese merhaba, Kolay Değil'e hoş geldiniz. Bugün çok özel bir misafirim var. Shane Larkin, Anadolu Efes'ten milli takımımızın gardı. Kendisi, demin ondan bahsediyorduk. Bana göre Türkiye'ye gelmiş en iyi basketbolcudur. Bayağı bir şeyden bahsedeceğiz. Şimdi İngilizce'ye geçiyoruz. Hi Shane.
What's up, man?
All good, how are you?
All good. Glad to be here.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. So, I just told him, like, for many years, I always said, hey, Shane Larkin is the best athlete ever come to Turkey. Not only in basketball, though. So, it's a very special moment for me. And thank you so much for
I appreciate that. Appreciate that.
How was your
that
Turkish,
compliment.
though?
Not as good as I'd like it to be. I definitely need to work a lot on that.
Okay, let's start with some funny stuff. What words or sentences you use on your daily routine?
I wouldn't say there's sentences. I would say like there's just certain words I would use around the locker room or on the court or with my assistant. Just little words here and there, but
Yeah.
a lot of the time it's like jokey joke stuff. But
But on the court, when you play on the court, is there some Turkish? Go there or come here, pick and roll with this sort of, or you just always speak in English?
most of the time speaking English because majority of the guys on the team are English. But if I'm out there with some Turkish guys, sometimes I'll make a joke or something like that. But
Funny.
yeah, I definitely need to work on it though.
Okay, that's great. So how long has it been that you're here? Like
This is my 6th year.
6 years. Wow.
Yep.
You're almost half Turkish.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
You also have Turkish citizenship, right? Because
I
of the
do.
national team as
Yep.
well. Wow. That's another topic we can tap into. So
Cool.
that's great. So I would just start with your upbringing. You know, lots of people know many things about it. That your father is an athlete and some of this stuff. But maybe for some people who has no idea about it yourself, can you please just tell us about like what year you were born in and where do you raise like?
Okay.
So
I was born in 1992 in Cincinnati, Ohio. My father was a professional athlete. He played baseball for the Cincinnati Reds for 19 years.
wow.
Hall of Famer, 12-time All-Star. Was a really good player. And I grew up there until I was probably 6, 7, 8 years old. And then my dad was also born in Cincinnati, Ohio, and my mom as well. So they were kind of known as an it couple, I guess you would call it. Like they were very popular. And my dad.
Your mother was an athlete as well.
No, she actually was a cheerleader. For,
Cheerleader.
the Cincinnati
I got
Bengals.
connection though.
Yeah, so she was a cheerleader for the Bengals, but they actually grew up right next to each other. My dad's house was on this side of the fence. My mom's house is right here, so they've known each other their entire life. So whatever they go through their lives, get together, have a family. And now I'm 6, 7, 8 years old.
They're destined to be together then.
Seems like it, right?
Yeah.
Seems like it. Then they became very popular in the city, and my dad wanted me and my siblings to be able to go somewhere else and kind of develop our own characters, not kind of grow up in his shadow. So we moved to Florida. He was still playing in Cincinnati. We moved to Florida, and I was in Florida all the way until college, and went to the University of Miami. Played 2 seasons there. Got drafted to the NBA.
But have you dreamed becoming a basketball player?
Oh,
or
yeah.
You also had like some inspiration for being a baseball player.
You know, actually, growing up, American football was my favorite sport. I love the contact.
Still?
Not now, but I love the contact. I loved everything about it. To me, at a young age, it seemed like a big game of tag. And I was fast, and I was like, if I have the ball, somebody has to catch me in order to tag me, but tackle.
Or you still have contact at
Yeah, still. It's a little different, but it was similar. And then actually, I didn't like baseball at all, probably for some other reasons outside of the actual game, but wasn't a big baseball fan. It is a little bit slow. And then for other reasons, it's like, I guess the fact that it made my dad have to be away so much when I was young. You know, I just think mentally as a young kid, maybe I didn't process it. But maybe that's why I didn't want to play it as much as a young child. But at the end of the day, I think it's kind of boring as well. So that's probably the biggest reason. And the other sports are faster. Always loved basketball. Was a pretty good basketball player all the way up until high school. I was playing American football and basketball. And my freshman year, I broke my ankle playing American football. And in that moment, it made me miss half of the basketball season. Wow. And
at the age of?
At the age of 14.
Yeah.
And I wanted to play varsity as a 14-year-old, play with the older kids. But because I broke my ankle, they made me play on the younger teams. And it made me so mad because I thought I was good enough, but I was infuriated. So I was
I can imagine what you
felt. So I was like, no more football. I'm just going to commit everything I have to basketball. I love basketball. I think I'm good enough.
Has your father trained you, like give you some sort of tricks, or took you with him to the running or something?
Yeah, my dad was my dad was definitely very involved. On the basketball court, he was a pretty good basketball player, but more so off the court in terms of like my speed, quickness, agility, being able to change directions, being able to speed up faster than everybody, but then also being able to slow down faster than everybody. And there were just like certain things that he learned being a pro that he definitely instilled in me early on, and definitely helped me be able to be more advanced athletically than a lot of guys at a younger age that helped me get to where I got to. So,
And now I think when we look at your game, we see those small like touches, like you really accelerated super quick, but at the same time, close to the finishing, you just slow down super quick as well.
Definitely. Right? Yeah, definitely. And that's pretty much what it's all about. Changing angles, speeding up faster than people, slowing down quicker than people, always keeping them guessing as to what speed you're playing at, what tempo, which direction you're going. Especially as a smaller guy, you kind of have to keep them guessing. So that's definitely helped me in my career.
But did you also feel the pressure, because your father is a Hall of Famer, that you have to be, I mean, not in baseball, obviously, but even in basketball, you have to be one of the greatest players. Did you really feel that pressure?
I wouldn't necessarily say I felt pressure because my father never put that pressure on me. He never forced me to play any sports. He never made me do anything. He was just like, if you want to work out today, if you want to get better, I'm here, I'm available. I'm always going to be willing to put in that work in with you if you would like to. So I guess I never felt like I had to do it. It was all about my passion for it. And because I was so passionate about it and becoming my own thing, I think that is really what helped drive me to be there. But he never put the pressure on me. And I never really felt it. Everybody's going to try to make it seem like there's a pressure from the outside world. There's going to be more pressure as, oh, your father did this, so you have to do this. And at the end of the day, it's all about perspective. And I never viewed it that way. I viewed it as, I idolized my father and everything that he did in his sport and how much work he put in to have this kind of life and this kind of career and the things that he was able to give my family. And I'm very happy for him and proud of everything that he accomplished. But that doesn't mean that I have to do any of that if I want to.
This is your own story.
Yeah, exactly. It's my own story, my own life, and I can kind of chase after whatever I want to. However, I ended up being passionate about something, and I chased that with everything that I had, and it worked out kind of well for me too. Yeah.
But is there anything taught you to handle the pressure? Because when we also look at your game, you really handled pressure in a very good way. So especially like the tough times, like critical moments, like you really handled it very well. Did anything teach you how to handle pressure or tough moments?
I don't necessarily think it was something that taught me. I think it's just something that's inside of you. I'm a very selfless person. I'm not selfish at all. And, I've been responsible for a lot of things in my life. And being on the basketball court, I kind of translates to that as well. And, I have 5 teammates out there with me at all times on the court, but you also have your 7 teammates on the bench. You have coaches, you have staff, you have management, you have everybody. And in those moments, if you win a game, everybody's happy. If you lose a game, everybody's going to be upset. And when we win the game, it's all about the entire team. And I've always made it about the entire team. And that's how I genuinely feel, because you can't win a game by yourself. You can't lose a game by yourself either. However, in those moments, if there is somebody...
You hold yourself accountable when you lose game?
Yeah, of course.
It's a skill of, like, that really possess this leadership skill. Because I always say, if anything goes well at our company, this is because of your hard work.
Right.
If anything fails or goes bad, this is because of me.
Exactly.
The same mentality, right?
That's the exact thing that I was about to say. That's the exact same I want to feel. I don't want people to feel like we failed because of their efforts or their energy or whatever. I feel like I should take responsibility, and if we win, good job, guys. You know, celebrate everybody. Congrats on your work. But if we lose, that's me. That's my bad. And that's how I like to take it on. So
Yeah, this is what we call a leader, though. So
yeah.
congrats about it. So what about let me tell you about my short story. Like, I always dreamed to be a basketball player, but for various reasons, I wasn't able to succeed. So then I became an entrepreneur, whatever. And when I was a young kid, I always blamed someone else or myself, and even God, because He created me with the height of 184, whatever. And the moment I realized everything is possible, one of the moments I really felt this internally from the heart was just to see you, because when I see you yourself, you playing, you're dominating game, not only in the league, also in the EuroLeague, whatever, I felt like, hey, the size does not really matter. Like, many people tells this, but really size does not matter. I see a guy with the same height with me really dominate the game and become, the best player in Europe. So first of all, congrats for this.
Thank you.
And what do you think, like, when you were a young kid? Because I'm sure maybe hundred thousands of youngsters will watch this video, and lots of people, young kids, has a similar stuff that they are really complaining about. So what do you want to say about this?
I would say that doubt is inevitable. At some point in time, you're going to come into a place where either you're doubting yourself or other people are doubting you. But I would say in every situation in life, every perspective is everything. And in any moments of doubt from yourself or other people, I would say use that as a motivation. Like, you can turn the negative into a positive. And being the shortest guy or whatever limitations you may have, use those things and try to find an advantage within those. Yeah. And that's how I kind of looked at my height. I knew that I wasn't going to be the guy jumping over everybody, dunking the ball, playing in the post and doing those things. And I knew because of that, people were going to doubt me. And that made me use that as motivation to work harder than all these guys 10 times. And if I wanted to go out there and make 100 shots, I would finish those 100 shots, and I'd be like, there's probably somebody out there making 300 right now, so I'm going to continue to push myself because I have to. And I just use those as a motivation.
Mentality, right?
Yeah, exactly. You just have to turn those doubts into motivation, and whoever says you can't do something, you're not big enough, you're not fast enough, you're not smart enough, you're not capable, I would say just use that as a motivation to go out there and prove those people wrong. And don't make it about them. It's not necessarily you're doing it for them, you're doing it for yourself, but obviously, use that as a motivation to kind of like shut the big guy up. That's kind of the mentality that you need to have.
Yeah, I have a similar thing. I say, like, there are always people gonna judge you or like doubt about you. So, and even they don't do it publicly, I say, hey, let's assume they're doing it. So we motivate ourselves.
Right.
So, just to prove them wrong. So
100%.
As being a professional athlete, I think you always have people criticizing you. So there's always some motivational source for you to read, see, hear, and just have the same passion.
100%.
Yeah, that's very good. 100%. Because in our job, it's not that way. Like, people, especially when you get bigger, they stop criticizing you because they don't want you to be your enemy, their enemy. So, but in the professional sports, I think there will be always some stupid people who's gonna criticize you regardless of whatever you do. So, anyways, when you were like trying to become a professional athlete, like, was there any professional athlete like a Jordan, someone that really inspired you a lot? Like, who was the guy really your biggest inspiration? Maybe other than your father.
Outside of my father was Allen Iverson.
Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
I can understand why.
Yeah, exactly. Smaller guy, went through a lot of stuff in his childhood, on the court, off the court, but just was a smaller guy that it didn't matter who was bigger than him. He was going to try to fight for everything and give 100% effort every time he was on the floor. And, we saw the kind of career he had, the things that he was able to do. what he was able to do for his team and take his team to certain places. As a smaller guy myself, playing in a sport where most of the guys are, giants, I would look at him and I would watch his film and I would watch his interviews, I would watch his movies, I would watch everything about him. And it just was such an inspiring thing because I was like, if you want to have some success in this world, this is somebody that you're going to have to do it somewhat like he did. And any small guard, I would say, at least in my generation, I would say he's probably one of the biggest inspirations for all smaller guys that play basketball.
Yeah. So would you consider yourself a better player than Iverson? Or no way?
I wouldn't be able to sit here and say that I'm a better player than Iverson because he took his team to an NBA Finals.
Yeah, he has a different career, especially in the NBA.
Exactly. So for me to be able to sit here and say I'm better than him, I wouldn't be able to do that. Confidence-wise, though, I would love the opportunity to go out there and show or be able to prove that I was better than him. Idolizing him, being able to play against him would have been a dream come true. Obviously, different ages, different careers, different career paths, but in his prime versus my prime, I definitely would have loved to, be able to go out there as the man of my team and him being the man of his team and kind of go at it and see what happens.
So funny.
That would have been amazing.
I like the generation. We had differences between Iverson's generation, whatever. And I also watched Iverson. I was not a big fan, but personally, and I'm really trying to be objective about it. I think you could be a better player than Iverson.
So really.
I mean, and let's dive into your NBA career about it. So, what do you think about NBA in general right now, or do you want to go back, or would you?
I wouldn't say that I want to go back. I would say if a good opportunity presented itself, then I'd be open to the idea. But I'm very happy in Europe. I'm very happy living in Europe, and the experiences that I've had over here are, I think, better for my life personally, growing up and becoming who I am, as opposed to doing everything that I was doing in the States. So, at the end of the day, if a good opportunity arises, there's something that you have to look at. But at the moment, I don't necessarily have the want or the drive to get back.
Yeah, but do you feel something is missing in your life because of your previous NBA career? Because maybe you had different dreams when you started your NBA, and what do you think about it?
Growing up, the number one thing in the States as a basketball player, you say, I want to win an NBA championship. So at the end of the day, if there's something missing from my career, I would say it's probably that. I've played in conference finals, I've played in semifinals, I've played in ACC tournament in college, I played in everything you can play in EuroLeague finals, Turkish League finals. I've played in every single finals that I could potentially play in, and I've won many of them. But that's the one thing that I do not have. The one thing I have not participated in, the NBA championship. So at the end of the day, like I said, opportunity is everything. And if I was to get an offer from a team that's chasing that and I had an opportunity to go perform and compete for an NBA title, that would be something that may bring me back to the States. Other than that, though, I'm not just going back to go back because I think the style of basketball is better over here. I enjoy playing basketball better over here. It's more of a team game. Everybody feels more involved over here, and that's the way that I was taught to play the game of basketball, and that's what resonates closer to me. So I enjoy it over here more. However, if something's missing, it's that opportunity to play in the NBA Finals.
This definitely reflects you're a selfless guy, because I think in order to succeed in the NBA game, you got to be somewhat relatively selfish, especially if you want to have this superstar title,
100%,
and have more responsibility, whatever. So
definitely,
that would be really, really nice to see you in the NBA, trying to win the championship. Yeah. So in terms of prime time, you mentioned I would love to play with Iverson at his prime time. What do you think about it? Are you in your prime time right now, or?
Yeah, I would say I'm in the midst of my prime. Usually, basketball players' primes are 28 to 33. And I'm 31 right now, so I think I'm in the very, in the very middle of my prime. I'm feeling good. My body feels good. Playing at a high level.
Lots of experience. Yeah.
A lot of experience in different areas: college, high school, NBA, Europe.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in a good place right now. Mentally, I'm in a good place. I'm happy. I'm content with where I am. It's not like I have anything pulling back on me as to I want to be here, I need to be here, or this. I'm very happy with where I am currently. Still striving to be the best I can be every day. Still trying to work on different things to get better and better. But I would say right now I'm in the middle of my prime for sure.
Yeah, that's good. As I read somewhere, the men's prime time in terms of like biological statement is between of 28 and 38, something like this.
Really?
In almost anything though, not only the professional sports. And I think it's true because I'm 35 right now. And like when you look at it, like in your 30s, early 30s, especially if you're an athlete, you're still very like fast, strong. I mean, maybe just like at 25 years old.
Right.
But at the same time, you have the expertise, experience.
Right. Exactly.
You know the rules. You understand it better. You have the better perception. You can understand many things. So it's definitely the time for someone to win lots of stuff, to make big, successful stuff. So let me ask you a couple of things with Turkey. Turkey. Now we say Turkey as you already know. So what do you like the most in Turkey in terms of like living here? Food, whatever. What do you like the most?
You know what? I would say the thing that made me love Turkey is the support that I received early on. I would say it's a very passionate group of people.
Always.
You love very hard, and with that,
you hate very hard.
Yeah. With that, there comes a certain expectation, and I would say early on, when I was here, especially on the basketball court, I wasn't playing well, but there was a group of people that continued to support me through and through. And I think through that, it felt like some people gave up on me early on because I didn't come over here and immediately have the success that they expected. But there was like a very specific group of people, fans, management, teammates, that continue to instill confidence within me. And I think once I finally broke out and I had my big game, then the other people started to show that love and support. But I think that early group of people,
early believers,
that kind of made me see like what was available for me here and what kind of people were in this country, and that alone started to open my eyes to more and allowed me to start taking in Turkey for everything that it is. But now, you know, the culture, the people, I just think my personality kind of fits in very well with how people are here. And I think from very early on, it felt like a place where I could be comfortable, that I could just be myself. And I think that's what it was. You know, obviously the food's great, the culture's great, the history is great. You know, everything about it it's a huge city. You can find anything and everything that you want to find in this city. But I think it was the people that really made me feel comfortable here. That is what kind of opened my eyes to this could be like a home for me, and what's maybe not.
Do you know the exact reason people love you so much, like, and they supported you? Just one single word, maybe. Because I have one.
You have one. I would like to hear yours because I don't know.
I think the humbleness, and I think the difference in Turkish people is that we really value character a lot, and I think we can, like, relatively we can see the inner yourself better than maybe other countries, other people, because we are more like in our daily routines. I also know the States, how the people, the reactions, how people behave each other. In most things, they are more respectful in many ways than our Turkish people. But the sincerity that we have is also different than in the US. So this is the thing, the sincerity, the humbleness you have. I think people can see these, like, in your eyes, like through the funnel to your heart. So that is the thing. That's why people, most of them, believed in you, and even the times that you struggled, they kept supporting you, and they didn't fail. Like,
worked out.
So
Yeah, well,
This is my perception. This is how I read the book.
if I had to sit here and think of a word, that was a pretty good one. I would agree.
Okay.
I would agree.
So, and one other question about Turkey. What are the differences, main differences you realize between Turkey and the US?
Main differences. I would say the U.S. is very, and I love the U.S. I'm not saying anything about the U.S. is negative, but I would say the U.S. is very superficial, and I would say Turkey and Turkish people it's more genuine. Like the connections, the friendships, the interpersonal relationships that you make is more personal. Like small things matter more here as opposed to over there. I think the States, a lot of it is, and not everybody, but a lot of it is like, what can you do for me? If you could do something for me, then I'll do for you. But if you can't do anything for me, then
Or
I'm nothing for you.
capitalist kind of stuff.
Yeah, but over here
Which
it's
is
like,
understandable from.
yeah, I mean,
That's the rule there.
yeah, and I would say here is more so like if you're a good person, you treat me right, you do right by me, I'll do the same for you. And I think that genuineness of
This is what I
person to person interaction is just so much more. It feels better. Like you feel better. Like you feel better doing for people here as opposed to there, because you know they are just gonna take. And here it's like a give and take relationship. It's a partnership. It's a genuine friendship, and I would say that's probably the biggest difference that I feel.
After this podcast, you're gonna be a national hero. You already are, but you know if people watch this, they're gonna love you even 10 times more. So yeah, I'm glad you thought that way. It really matters. Like it's very important for me as well. So the one other question is about the Shay Larkin Foundation. What does giving back mean to you?
It means everything, to be honest. A couple of years ago, after we won our second EuroLeague, some reporter asked me, they were like, so what's next for you? Like, you have a scoring title, you have EuroLeagues, you have points in the game, you have threes in the game, you have all these different things you have accomplished. So what's next for you? Like, what more can you accomplish? And I actually sat there for a second. I was like, okay, we've won Turkish League, we've won President's Cup, we've won Turkish Cup, we've won EuroLeague, we've won this, that, and the third. I made records. We've done this, first team, second team. I've done a lot here, and there's not any individual accolades or team accolades that I haven't accomplished. So I was like, what can make my life here more purposeful? And when I came here, I was 25 years old. Before that, I had bounced around for the first 4 years of my career, 5 years of my career. I was in Dallas, New York, Brooklyn. I went to Spain. I went back to Boston, and then I landed in Turkey. And I was kind of like all over the place trying to find myself. And then when I first got here, like I said, it was a struggle. I wasn't playing well. Then I started playing good. I started feeling that overwhelming support and love. And now here I am 6 years later. And after we won the second one, it was after my fourth year. And I was sitting there like, yeah, what's next? It's like, what more can I do? And I was like, you know, this is the first place that I've been in my professional career as an adult that has made me feel like home, has made me feel comfortable, like has made me feel good. So what I want to do now is try to give back. I want to try to get more into the community. I want to try to give these people something. I can never repay them or this country for what it's done for me in my life and my career. I can never do that.
No,
I can try though.
Yeah. Now I really understand why you started. Because as you were telling me, I really understand that this is the place you really found yourself.
Exactly.
You really become best of your own version. So
exactly. And it's not anything like individually that somebody did and was like, here. Like, it was none of that. It was just like support, love, and me becoming whatever it is that I've become, you know, and it gave me the platform to do that, and then it also made me feel comfortable to be able to continue to grow and try new things and branch out. And now the foundation is all about trying to give back in some kind of capacity to the next kid or, you know, whoever's in need or whatever, so that maybe I can have some kind of impact on their lives for many years the way that Turkey's done for me. And that's really what it's all about. I genuinely feel like this is a home for me.
Yeah, you got to know that there are also hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people like myself that really love you so much, always here to support. So I really appreciate it. As a young entrepreneur, I don't know if I should call myself young anymore, but
Definitely.
okay, let's say young entrepreneur that really, really appreciate all the things, you know. And one thing about, can you please tell us the story, how you ended up being in Turkey from Boston? The journey, like who reached out to you? How did it happen? And what did you feel at the very first moment someone reached out to you from Turkey?
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever told this story before, but
No, so I went to college at University of Miami. I got drafted first round in 2013. Then my first few years in the league, I bounced around. I was in with the Dallas Mavericks, New York Knicks, Boston Celtics, Brooklyn Nets. And then I came to play in Spain, and I played in Spain, and that was my first time traveling to Turkey. And when I landed here, it was a complete culture shock. I had never landed at any airport and walked around and saw people with guns and stuff like that, and I was just like, what's going on here? I had no idea. I lost my passport, so I was stuck in the airport by myself with no teammates, no coaches, no anything, just trying to find somebody to help me. Eventually figured that situation out. Left, finished the season in Spain, signed back in Boston, and then after that year in Boston, I had a separated shoulder in the playoffs. I ran into Embiid, and he destroyed my shoulder. And
it's normal.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry to hear this stuff.
Yeah, and then I was sitting there with a separated shoulder, a tear in my shoulder, not really getting a lot of calls from NBA teams at that moment after my injury. A couple of teams in Europe were sitting here saying, well, we want to see how he recovers from his injury. We don't know if we want him. But Efes was very, very...
Kid to it.
Yeah, Efes was very aggressive in trying to get me to sign here. A couple of people reached out to me from the team. And then
who was the exact person that really believed in you? Because when I hear this story from my perspective, an injured player, I mean, you would never guess what he can accomplish in your team.
Right.
So you wouldn't be the first guy that a team like Anadolu Efes would approach and really become aggressive. So who was this visionary guy?
Well, I know my agent was doing a lot of the talking early on. I know he was talking to Ataman. He was talking to Coach Ataman. He was talking to Alper, the GM. Yeah. And they were having a lot of conversations, and he told me that Efes was being aggressive. But then I guess either Alper, the GM, or Ataman told Brian Dunston to reach out to me. And Brian texted me. Out of nowhere, he texted me one day. He was like, yo, what's up, bro? It's Brian Dunston from Efes. Here to answer any questions for you.
Find, maybe through the
maybe with agent or coaches or whoever. And he reached out to me, and he told me, he was like, yo, I've been here.
Before?
I played against him. I didn't know him personally at all, but I had played against him before. But then he reached out to me, and he told me, like, look, we know you're talented. And I've been in Efes for a few years now, and I'm really trying to win. Like, I don't want to continue to just be here for nothing. I'm trying to win a championship. And when he told me that, I looked at the roster. I saw some guys that I knew before, that I played with before. I was like, okay, this team could be pretty good. Then, obviously, ended up signing the contract coming here. And then that first year, this was in the summer, so 11 months later, we were playing for a title against CSKA Moscow. Unfortunately, we lost in that first one, but it was just crazy how quickly everything came together for the team. And I was struggling on early in that season, but everybody kept believing in me. And later during that season, I had a really good stretch, and the rest is kind of history. But I would say those were the main factors in getting me here.
Yeah, and who was your best teammate when you come here? Like who became suddenly your best,
saying best teammate is challenging because, especially from those teams early on, it was like we were such a good group. And whenever I do talk about that team, it's like it's hard to even explain because there was a group of people who all believed in one thing so much that it didn't matter what anybody outside of this thought. It was like whatever 25 people that were associated with that team, coaches, staff, players, if this was the table represents the team, the outside of this table was impenetrable. It didn't matter what people said. It didn't matter the doubt, the injuries, the media. It didn't matter. Nobody was gonna penetrate that that barrier and come in
Because
and give us what we
everyone
want.
Like your relationship with Mitsic.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, from
Yeah,
us,
I mean, the individual relationships within that team were really unbelievable. I had a great relationship with Vasa, Roddy Bubois, Brian Dunstan, but like that's why it's tough to say because like each one of those guys, I can genuinely say like one of my brothers for life. I will always be there for them, answer the phone for them, and I genuinely feel the same way if I needed them for anything. And
do you miss those days?
you know, I would say it's bittersweet because you know towards the end of that 4 or 5 years together, I think people wanted to start, their ideas started to grow and people wanted to go try different things. And, you know, Coach left, Vasa left, Brian left, Adrian, Chris, you know, everybody kind of started growing and had to do different things for their career. So it's not that, you know, you miss those days, but like whenever you do think about them, you cherish them because, you know, once you are outside of it and you think back to it, it's like you finally understand how special those moments were.
I know what you mean.
And it's like you don't really appreciate it like that, and as cliche as it sounds, like you don't appreciate it until it's gone. But while you're in it, it's fun, it's enjoyable, and you think it's gonna last forever. But then when it's not there, you think back like, man, that was a special group.
Even for outsiders, even for fans, that was special. And I can understand what you really. I mean, obviously, I can never understand or understand it, but I can understand what do you mean. Yeah, and one of the final questions. So, what happened with national team? Like, how was the thing? Who approached you? Like, did you think a lot about whether accepting it? So, then what happened?
It was actually the way it began was somebody from the soccer national team came to a practice, and they gifted me a jersey with my name on it and my number, and I posted it on social media, and I was like, "Thank you to." I can't remember the name exactly, but I posted it on social media, and I was like, you know, I forgot his name. Appreciate to the national team for thinking of me and gifting me this jersey. I think I looked pretty good in white and red. That's how it started. Okay. And then it was like, oh, you got to get this guy on the national team. Like, you got to become part of the country, da-da-da-da-da. And at first, I was just like, you know, this could never really happen. I don't think.
At the time, Scotty was a part of it.
Yeah,
was playing, right?
Yeah. And at the time, it was just kind of like, it was a thank you. And then it became more and more real, the fan support and everything. And then that's the year I scored 49 points. And then I scored 49, and then like maybe 2 weeks later, the president was saying something about me on the news. And then probably a week later, I got an invitation to be on the national team. So it really happened really quickly after that. But when it first happened, it wasn't necessarily like I had to think long about it. You know, I was here. I had multiple years on my contract. I was comfortable. I was happy. I was playing well. Everything was feeling good. So as soon as the offer came across the table, I said yes immediately, and you know, was able to go out there and play.
It was too high, right?
I wouldn't say they were too high. I just think, you know, whenever you are playing a certain way with your club team, everybody thinks it's going to translate immediately to everywhere else. And obviously, you know, you need some time to kind of understand each other, play, get that chemistry. Like, what made me so good in Ephes was the chemistry. So it needed time to build that.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No
because
problem.
I remember the first games, you know, and I thought like, hey, what the heck happened to this guy?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm sure. Some of the first games.
I'm sure. And, you know, it takes time to build things.
Because you look nervous.
I wouldn't say I was nervous. It's just like...
some sort of hesitant, like, which normally you
definitely,
are the opposite.
Definitely some hesitancy. Because at the end of the day, like you say, I'm a very selfless person, so I don't ever want to enter a team and kind of be like, this is mine.
I
like,
see.
This is me.
Especially when it's the national team.
Exactly. So it's like, it's difficult for me to just come in here as a guy who's not from the country. Everybody's speaking Turkish. Everybody's doing this. I don't understand anything. For me to come in and be like, all right, this is mine now, guys. Everybody listen to me. Like, that's just not who I am.
I think you were kind of too humble.
In a sense, and that's what people would tell me, that I was too humble, I was too hesitant in turning the team into mine. But, you know, I wanted everybody to get comfortable. I wanted everybody to feel like they could be themselves. And then slowly I started implementing myself into it. And then I think it could be something special. So I would say maybe it was a mistake on my half to not come in and immediately grab it and take the bull by the horns and be like, "This is mine,
what
guys."
people expected. By the way.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe I should have tried to be more that way, but that's just not my character. I'm selfless. I'm like, "Hey guys, I'm here to help. Let's grow together." And then once they start seeing that, then we can all be comfortable with, okay, Shane, instead of me coming in and saying, "All right, this is mine now," everybody can on that team then would be like, "You know what, Shane? Here you go. Like, you're the guy now. We understand. We're comfortable with you. We trust you." And then we could build off of that, as opposed to me being in or coming into something and saying, "Hey guys, I don't care what you did here before. I don't care what you did here before. This is mine now. Everybody listen to me." That's just not who I am. So I think we didn't have the time to kind of make that happen. And maybe that was my fault for not being more assertive. But I would say that's kind of how all that went down.
Yeah, I see. No worries. We wish we will see you in the future.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. And last question, because the Ertan Ghazi is a good friend of mine, because I'm also from Cyprus, where he was born in. I'm half Cypriot, so I really love him. He has a lot of talent. What do you think about him?
I think Ghazi is extremely talented. I think he has the ability to be, a very good player. He just has to be more consistent. Ghazi's a guy who will come out one game and have, 10 points, play unbelievable defense, bring unbelievable energy, and then the next game kind of just be erratic, and you don't really know what you're going to get from him. So at the end of the day, I think what Ghazi needs to do is, he works hard, he plays hard, he always brings energy. But I would say the number one thing he needs to do is work on his consistency. Maybe he needs to watch more film. And he needs to trust himself more, and I think that's where a lot of his problems come.
But he's also very cold-blooded as well. Like when I see his game, like even though he is not really playing lots of minutes, even though when he's on the court, he doesn't really hesitate. This is a very special, unique gift, I think.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, I don't think he's a hesitant player. I just think he needs to have more direction in what he's doing, and I think that comes from experience. I think that comes from playing more and fully understanding who you are, and then trying to bring that to every team and every situation that you're in. Yeah. And I think he's unbelievably talented, unbelievably athletic.
I remember he told me, I asked
crazy.
Him, who can guard Larkin? He said, "I'm the only guy." Is it true?
I mean, he has the best chance.
That's it, my friend. Okay, Shane. I was really thrilled to have you here. Like, it's a really pleasure. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
I'm sure there will be lots of inspiration for many youngsters that you can know or you wouldn't even imagine. So I wish we could do this again in the future.
Sure. Let's do it.
Best luck with your career.
Thank you.
Take care.
Appreciate it, man.
Arkadaşlar çok sağ olun. Çok özel bir bölümde. Umarım hoşunuza gitmiştir. Bir sonraki bölümde görüşmek üzere. Kendinize iyi bakın.